welcome back to another episode of Puerto Rico Sky Views. My name is Emmanuel Santiago, and for this one I took the DJI FPV drone for a spin and the GoPro Hero 10 attached to it. I use this mainly as my setup because it's the only drone that I have that offers me the FPV way of flying, and I love it. But there's some catch. There's a catch to this drone, and it's the camera. Actually, the footage from the camera of this drone is a little bit less quality from what you would get from a GoPro. So I've decided to try it out, and I found myself with some little bit of a stabilization problems when running the FPV setup. And I think I found a solution to that problem, which involves Reelsteady Go. In this video, we will be reviewing the Reelsteady Go versus Hypersmooth 4 and Hypersmooth 4 with the boost mode. I have very mixed feelings about the Hypersmooth. Everyone's saying it's good enough, that it's almost as good as Reelsteady, but I had to test it out for myself, so I brought you guys here a review in which I went into a local factory, sugarcane factory that was abandoned many years ago in the town of Aguada. It's very near my hometown, so I took the drone for a spin. Let's see those footage. Okay, so just a little disclaimer. I did not fly wilder in one mode or the other. All of these clips are in 60 frames per second, 5K resolution. The only difference is that when flying Reelsteady Go, you have to fly in the 4x3 format. And when you put it through Reelsteady Go, it will stretch it out to 16:9, which it's great, and it does a really good job, you know, in stretching it and keeping the distortion low. Because I was worried that when that 4x3 gets really stretched out at 16:9, the warpiness, it's gonna show off, but it really doesn't. I really like the way it looks, the way it crops in. It kind of crops in more subtle in some movements than in others. If you're doing, for example, let's say a split S, sort of really regular move that you may do, when you're ascending or gaining altitude and then flipping your drone, it really has a massive crop on it. But I find that it gives the footage, it makes it look a little more dynamic in some sort of way. Hypersmooth, I didn't really notice any sort of crop, but you can really see in the footage that when turning, when the drone banks, it has some sort of delay when the drone banks, and it also does this like an artificial panning on itself. So I was very disappointed to see that. I thought that Hypersmooth 4 would solve the problems of the GoPro Hero 8 with the Hypersmooth 3.0, and this wasn't the case. In my opinion, Hypersmooth is not on par yet with Reelsteady. Maybe Hypersmooth 5, they will correct some of the issues that Hypersmooth 4 has, even in the boost mode. Boost mode, I thought it was gonna be terrible for FPV, but the boost mode, it's really better than Hypersmooth 4 in my opinion. It has a little bit more delays in the way it banks, in the way it pans, but it does the job a little bit more softly, so it's a little bit more subtle. Reelsteady Go, yes, it's a little bit pricey. It's $99 at the moment of this review, but it's so worth it because it gives you the peace of mind that you need to go out there, make some creative footage and enjoy yourself, have a great time. Besides that, I think it's a great tool for making you feel more confident about your flying. It's a lot more of a relief that you get to your house, run it in the Reelsteady Go, and it will crop in a subtle way. It will give you some sort of motion blur, and the footage looks quite a lot more cinematic. If you are trying to fly in a cinematic way and you want this soft panning, soft cropping, go for Reelsteady. It's amazing. Well guys, leave me your comments below. I always like to hear your opinions. I know there's a lot of people saying the GoPro Hero 10 stabilization, the Hypersmooth 4, is good enough for FPV. If that's the case, let me know in the comment section below. Please consider to subscribe and see you guys in the next one.